I do feel some pressure.
I definitely do feel a lot of pressure.
I definitely do feel pressure.
I used to, but not anymore.
They tend to be kind of ashamed.
Unwanted competition or just soul hatred for.
Oh, she's so skinny, like she needs to eat more.
She's a fall lie.
I don't want to call it hatred, but I know people have said something along the lines of, oh, she's so skinny, like she needs to eat more.
Women who show their bodies a little bit more they tend to be kind of ashamed.
A lot of it would have to do with unwanted competition or just soul hatred for one another.
Luckily, it hasn't happened to me.
It seems like models or photographers even have to one-up one another.
I think that, of all things, just needs to stop.
People think that, oh, she's easy or she's a fall lie.
I think they just expect you to look your best all the time. So when they do see you in real life and you don't have makeup on, they're just like, wait a minute, like you can't be Yuna, because I know Yuna and I've seen her Instagram and she doesn't look like that.
Yeah, like I am living a good life, but again, it's social media, and I think how people see me through social media, they don't understand that behind closed doors I'm still struggling.
When they meet me in person, they're like, oh my God, like you're not like social media, like you're not stuck up, or you're so humble in real life, or you're not the person we thought you were.
Like once people meet me, they're more like, oh, like you're so silly, or you're so humble, and like you're like so good. Like I thought you were like this ABG or something. I'm like, no, I'm just a normal person.
People would probably view me as a very like outgoing or social kind of person. I'm very homebodied.
Social media, it's just a facade.
Being so petite and so young, and I look really young for my age, it's kind of hard to work with people or do shoots that are more bold.
We have a life outside of modeling. We're Hmong daughters, like we have to take care of our parents. We have family stuff to do. We have to go to school to keep up with like in real life stuff instead of just modeling.
They just expect Hmong girls and Hmong women to be conservative and be inside the house and to cook and to clean, and it's just challenging. Even some Hmong women, the older generations, they would say, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. Like that's not good for you. Like no one's gonna want to marry you. Like it's gonna ruin your reputation.
Like because the community is so small, there's always new faces that are wanted or new faces that have to be met with a photographer's need. So a lot of the times it can make me feel undesirable or just have that kind of effect on me. All sizes are gorgeous, and I mean that like from the bottom of my heart. I also feel like as a community we need to do a stronger and a better job at incorporating all shapes and all sizes. That way we can learn to really evolve as a community and become more inclusive.
I've struggled with my own, but then I realized that, you know, others have struggled with theirs.
Because of social media and advertisements, they really express that bigger women can't model, and I really dislike that idea.
I'm all for body positivity. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, your body size, great for you.
I think that we're all beautiful, whether you're a large or a small, it doesn't matter.
With the Hmong community, we don't really take modeling seriously as much as we should, or value our models the way we should.
Can be really judgmental. So if you model, they automatically label you as like a or like, please excuse my language, or what Hmong people would say, a palai, which is not very nice because, like I said before, it's just a way to express yourself, and it is art.
You have so much value and you take so much time to be at these shoots. You should see some type of income from it, you know, or you should be given a bigger platform or also more respect with what you do.
A lot of the assumptions would be that to be a model in the Hmong community especially, you have to be on some type of big platform, or you have to look a certain way or be a certain size, but that's not the case at all.
I guess there is a demand.
I definitely think that there is.
I don't think there is a demand.
I think that the demand is going up, but because there's so many models, it all just looks the same.
Like more models are needed, and sometimes it's hard to find models.
Photographers are always looking for new faces to come up.
It's kind of a trend though. I think for a while I started to see a lot of women come out and model. I think it's just all the hype.
A lot of girls are doing it more now, but the quality of the modeling is mediocre.
We have to overcome what our family thinks of us before we actually put ourselves out there.
Older generation, they can be really critical and judgmental.
Finding someone who is both friendly and professional.
It can be really hard to really put yourself out there and be different, so other people can acknowledge that your work is different.
I think a lot of the times we have photographers who are too overly friendly, or they can make you feel a little bit uncomfortable because they are too overly friendly. So it's really hard to try to find a balance between the two, or just find someone who would be professional enough to just get the collaboration done.
They've dealt with photographers who were, kind of ill-intended, or they were unprofessional and say sexual remarks or remarks that make you uncomfortable. Luckily, I haven't experienced anything super crazy. Just knowing that I've heard that around, that's an issue right there.
Beauty to me is an internalized ideation.
True beauty really isn't your appearance.
Beauty means to be comfortable in your own skin.
Beauty is how you feel with yourself.
It's super generic, but my family and my parents especially, they've always told me, you are only as beautiful on the outside as you are on the inside.
You could be attractive, the most attractive person, and yet have such an ugly heart.
And to really love and accept yourself for who you are.
Different sizes, different style, definitely different style, and it's just how that makes them feel.
I tend to try to find beauty within people more so.
My body for sure.
Probably my figure.
I'm not gonna lie about it, my size is my insecurity.
My body, my height, the way I spoke Hmong.
I would watch Victoria's Secret models all the time on the runway, and it would make me feel insecure about the way that I am or the shape of my body.
As a woman, we just naturally have so many insecurities because I feel like I like my face, but at the same time, I don't like my face.
I had a fashion designer tell me that you're one of my plus size model. And that made me so insecure. I was like 15, 16 during that time.
I mean, like at the end of the day, I love myself, but just seeing other people on social media, it really makes me reflect. What really inspired me was not seeing anyone else doing it, and I wanted to try something different.
Being myself inspired me.
My cousins and my siblings, my family.
My mom.
And my mom supported me. She said as long as I was a student first and I got all of my work done, she would support me, and she did.
Definitely, I did find myself, and I think that's what inspired me.
Seeing them go through so many hardships, and yet they continue to persevere and also be vocal and talk about how they feel and learn to grow, that's definitely inspired me.
She really introduced me into modeling, so yeah, my mom is my biggest inspiration.
The closest I could think of is just Brenda's song.
My audience, or people like my friends, my family, and even myself.
I feel represented through Nancy. She's about women empowerment, and she really speaks up for other women who can't, and she really is raw and honest about her thoughts and opinions.
I feel like it's not enough to represent us.
I feel most represented when a friend of mine or a photographer would recommend me to other people. I think that's when I feel the most not only represented but respected as a person.
In any movie, when there's an Asian person, I feel represented just because they're Asian. But at the end of the day, I know that there's always going to be this stigma around how Asians are, who they should look like.
When men speak up for women, I feel really appreciated, and I feel really represented in the way, just because they're taking that time to acknowledge these struggles that we do go through.
Honestly, thought I was out of the game for a while. Seniors, or juniors, high school people still look at my stuff. But to know that high schoolers still look at my stuff makes me okay, I gotta keep it up.
I don't know anyone specifically.
A lot of my followers anyways are usually the younger generation, and they would send me really motivational and very uplifting messages.
I know all of my little cousins and my siblings are always watching me.
I don't particularly see it in my future.
Oh yeah, definitely. With social media, it's possible, especially with Instagram and Facebook. It just takes a lot of time and investment.
I see it as a leverage in my career.
Probably not, to be honest.
Although I do see it as a hobby that I will still keep on the side.
But as my only career or, you know, my biggest source of income, I don't think it would be that.
My mind is built on you can't go nowhere with modeling.
I do feel some pressure.
I definitely do feel a lot of pressure.
I definitely do feel pressure.
I used to, but not anymore.
Models in general, or just, you know, our singers and our actors in general, they're being so compared to one another. And so I have to prepare for that aspect, and I have to prepare for that obstacle.
There could be a lot of anxiety when you're about to get on a runway in front of an audience, so yes.
I definitely I've dealt with like so much anxiety, even outside of modeling.
Definitely a lot of anxiety. Just the first conversation gives me anxiety, and then literally like driving to the photo shoot gives me anxiety.
By certain people, yes.
I do have respect and love from a lot of people.
People don't disrespect me or treat me badly.
I would say yes and no. Most of the times, yes, of course, though.
Again, if I just make a wrong move, I feel like there it goes.
There's still that 40 to like 30% chance that this group of people or the Hmong people aren't so respectful because of maybe like the kinds of shoots that you do, the kind of themes that you do, or the way that you choose to represent our people. It can be really iffy.
I think so.
As much as I want to say yes, there's always going to be that little slight chance where I know that I'm not going to have the same opportunities.
I definitely don't have equal opportunities.
Honestly, no.
I feel like out of state, there's definitely more opportunities out there.
I'm not the physique of, you know, what a modeling standards are.
Photographers and makeup artists and hair artists, they will have their favorites.
If I'm put in a competition with them, it's obvious that they want someone tall and skinny, or someone who can move in ways where my bodies wouldn't allow me to move. As a community, we are evolving and we are learning to be more inclusive of different shapes and sizes. So I really hope that in the future I can say yes to this question without the, backhand of, it's not true.